Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next edition in our conversation, Fabulous at 50 and Beyond. And of course, beyond is 60, 70, 80, 90. So it's not just 50, it's 50 and beyond. For anyone who hasn't listened in before, maybe they don't know me, a little bit of background. I'm Mary Waring, my company's Wealth for Women. I'm a financial advisor, I'm a chartered accountant, a women's empowerment coach, because of course, so often women are totally disempowered around money. My clients are typically around sort of age 50 and upwards. And I really have an issue about how society views this age of woman. My view is, to me, it looks like we're all viewed to be past it. The best is behind us and it's not great what's coming up. And personally, I think that couldn't be further than the truth. From my own experience, looking at my clients, a lot of us are getting older and feeling a lot more courageous, a lot more powerful, less worried about, well, maybe I can't do that because I don't look good, somebody might laugh at me. And I think we're getting to an age of, who cares? I just want to do it because it's fun. And as long as I have fun, who cares if I don't look great? So I wanted to get a different story out there about the benefits that come from aging. And yes, maybe we get a few extra lines, maybe we get a few extra inches, but that needs to be offset against all the pluses that come. So my conversation is with women either of this age or women who work with clients of this age. And it's all about celebrating getting older and what we can now achieve. And today, I'm really delighted to be speaking with Carole Ann Rice. I first met Carole Ann, I think it's 10, 12, many years ago. Our paths hadn't crossed for a while until I met her recently at an event. And I'm really, really excited about speaking with her. Carole Ann, she's a life coach, she's an author, a columnist, frequently mentioned in all the press, and she coaches people to reach their potential so that they can live their life with passion and purpose. Now, that's something we all want. So Carole Ann, welcome to you.
Thank you, Mary. What a lovely introduction. Yes, I am passionate about helping people of any age reach their potential. We're here for a very short time. Let's make the absolute most of it and of ourselves while we're on this journey. So yes, what you're talking about as far as we age, in the last couple of years or so, racism and and kind of Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement, lots of old beliefs and things that were just in society are coming to the fore and being addressed. Misogyny, all the rest of it. But the last taboo is ageism. And I'm really passionate about, let's forget this age thing. People are vital, they're powerful, they have a lot to contribute, they're visual, they're seen. We need to get this out of this is the last taboo, this is the last one we need to bust in society, is ageism in the media, in life generally.
And I think one thing that occurred to me, I've got no idea if this is true, but if you, in marketing, if you look at marketing aimed at sort of the 50 plus woman, a lot of people I know would look at it and think, well, that looks a bit like my gran. That doesn't look like me. Yeah. And I'm wondering how much of that is because the people in marketing are typically youngsters, and they do think that that's what the 50 plus woman looks like, but it really couldn't be further from the truth at all, could it?
And it couldn't be further from the truth. But also a lot of the people who own the ad agencies are the kind of baby boomers. So they kind of grew up in the late 50s and 60s. So they are beginning to bring in some new images now. And you see some of those, the sort of that women finally claiming their freedom and their liberation and going out there and doing all the things they've ever wanted to do. But it's a bit, there are the kind of the elderly seen in the press and in adverts. We've got our great icons like Judi Dench and Helen Mirren.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people looking to them thinking, wow, even Judi Dench in Bond films still, and Helen Mirren still looks fabulous and sexy. So we need to start changing our attitudes to particularly women as they age as well.
Certainly. And I think the issue is women, because women are often, we view how they look, for all of us, you look older. And actually, if you don't look older, it looks a little bit weird, doesn't it? And often we change shape. A little bit.
We do, and it's a kind of ongoing battle with our ever-changing body shape. But that's what we've had since childhood. That as we grow, women's bodies do change. And then you might have children, and you might have other things in life, illnesses, and just age and the menopause will change your body shape. So it's making peace with that. It's making peace with the body you're in. But equally, understanding that we're not just our bodies, we are our body, spirit, mind, everything that we're bringing to the table here. And there are so many ways of presenting yourself that you can feel confident. And I help women feel confident. It's not about having a gorgeous figure as maybe we did when we were younger. It's about looking relevant. It's about looking comfortable in your skin. On TV, men and in films, in Hollywood particularly, 60, 70-year-old men are paired with women who are 30 years younger than as their partners, and it's ridiculous. And some women who are their own age are cast as their mothers. So this will change as we get more female directors in, giving us powerful roles that we want to see that reflect our lives as well.
Yeah, and a comment you made when we spoke last week, which I just love: more goals are scored in the second half.
They are.
Now, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I actually, because I'm a bit of a numbers person,
yeah,
I went to look up, is there actual statistical evidence for this?
Yes.
Which there is.
There is.
So I didn't know whether it was a saying that you sort of made up because you liked it and it was your philosophy, but it's actually true.
It is true, because I went to an event at the School of Life, which is run by the philosopher Alain de Botton, and he said about aging, and he said there are more goals scored in the second half. Now, I'm married to a football fan. The team gets to half time, they go to the locker room. The coach will then say what they've been doing wrong, have a rethink. Now you go back out there and you play a better game. Now, this is what we can do in our lives. We get to 50, have a rethink. The children are moving on. You've got a little bit more money coming in. You've got some freedom. Right, I need to rethink what I'm doing now. And then you set your sights and your intention, and you can have an absolute ball. In my 50s, I run a half marathon. Now, this isn't, it's a 2 hours of continual running, which is quite a lot when you think about it. But what was important for me is at school, I was Carole the Barrel. I hated sports day. I actually got physically sick around sports day because I was like, it's the one thing I can't do. If you're a little bit fat and you're not athletic, some people are naturally athletic. So all my life, I thought, I'm not athletic, I can't run. Like literally some kind of bizarre biological twist. I cannot run. I thought, well, maybe I can. And so I drove out to the most remote place with my gym kit and ran for about 10 minutes and then thought I'm going to die. And then I kept driving to this remote so no one could see me. It took me months before I could go out my front door in my running gear because I was so frightened what people might think or say of me. And then eventually I built up and I got really super fit. And then I run. I'm a runner now. But, I didn't do that to my 50s.
So what was it then that made you think, I'm going to try it because maybe I can do it? And isn't it awful just, what we carry from childhood? I mean, that is a horrible thing,
Yes.
Carole the Barrel. That's not fun. That's nasty. But yeah, we carry all that.
Yeah, we carry that. I in the 80s, I wanted to look like Madonna. So I went to the gym a lot and I did like pushing weights and kind of bench pressing, but I never ran. I never did cardiovascular because I thought I physically cannot run. I'm some kind of freak of nature. But what happened was people kept saying, all you have to do is put your training shoes on and go out the door. And I kept thinking, well, runners always look really amazing. They look super fit and it's free. As long as you've got a good pair of trainers, anywhere you are in the world, you can go out your hotel and go for a run for 10 minutes. And I thought, well, that's what I need is cardiovascular. And if it's free, I don't have to join some expensive gym and get on a treadmill there and then embarrassingly run in front of people. I'll go somewhere remote and try. I mean, of course, it's fantastic to go out in the morning and in the misty mornings right now in the autumn and run and be in nature and walk and maybe, you know, halfway through sit down on a bench and contemplate life and then have a run again. But this was just something in my 50s. I thought it's now or never. And I don't regret it. It's one of the loveliest things I can do. And as I say, it's free. But it was like I transcended my own limiting belief of this is something I can't do. But, you know, there's lots of things that we can transcend. We think we can't, and our beliefs keep us stuck. Like that belief is that I'm too old to start a business, or I'm too old to earn big money, or I'm too old to travel on my own. Who says? So we put a lid on what we can achieve. We need to burst that lid off.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to me that even with all your experience as a life coach, you still had to push yourself to go and try running, which shows that even as a life coach with all your skills in, you know, how to get over limiting beliefs, it's still a struggle, isn't it?
Well, it is. And the thing is, none of us come to the end of our personal development. We're always a work in progress. So I have lots of things I resist, as everybody does, you know, procrastinate over, avoid, don't look at, ignore. And I thought, no, I've got to lean into this. And there's, you know, and that's my job, is to extend my own boundaries so that I can help others do the same for themselves. So this is something. And the other thing, what I would say, if anyone is even considering doing something, even if it's running or something new, be really kind to yourself as you do this, because that's how I got over it, which is I'm going to go somewhere really quiet. I will only do 5 to 10 minutes. I don't expect to run for half an hour. And if I don't like it, I'll walk and then I'll do a bit more. So I was really super compassionate with myself about not expecting too much, take it gently, at least at the end of it, say I had a go, and then come back. But anything you're doing, build in that kindness and that compassion, because it makes the journey much more likely to succeed than one which is, oh, I was useless at it, I'm not going to do that again. Things take a while to build, you know. So I think give it time and be really super compassionate with yourself as you step forward with anything, really.
Yeah, that's really good advice, isn't it? To set the right expectation, because had you set an expectation, I'm going to go out and run for half an hour and I'm going to be great at it, you wouldn't. You wouldn't run at half an hour. You wouldn't be, because nobody will first time. And then that would have put you off trying it again. So that's great advice, to just set sensible expectations and then celebrate what you've achieved.
Completely. And the other thing about specifically for women, if you have been quite a shy, underconfident, quiet person in your life, the good news is as you get older, that starts to get a bit less, because we get bolder and braver as we get older. I mean, which is interesting. I don't want to sort of disrespect men, but they actually get the other way, a little bit more timid, and I don't really want to go to that party, say men of a certain age, when women are like, I really want to go to that party, I'll go on my own. So what happens is women, we lose certain hormones, but we gain the hormones that say, what will people say? I better get out of the way. Excuse me, I'm sorry for existing. They start to leave our body, those hormones, the people-pleasing hormones. And then the new one comes in, which is, I actually don't really care. I'm going to do it anyway. And I love that, because women sort of, even the most timid women I've worked with start to say, and I turn around and I said to someone, well, I'm having a go. What are you doing? And I think, brilliant. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be super confident, but you can be quietly assertive. And I love that new thing that comes in for women, caring less about what other people think, which is essential.
I love that when you were talking about that and the whole, I wasn't aware of that at all, but that it is actually a hormone issue, isn't it? And the
Yeah.
oxytocin and
Yeah.
testosterone and
Yeah.
the mix. I didn't properly
Yeah.
follow. But yeah, I hadn't realized that is, there are reasons for that actual change happening. So yeah, no wonder I'm surrounded by a lot of women who do have that whole courage that they didn't have before.
When you're younger, you want to fit in, you want to be, not compliant, but you're like, I don't want to make any waves. Not all women, obviously. I wasn't like that. But some that say, I don't want to upset anyone. I don't want, what will people say if they saw me wearing this or doing that? And as you get older, the great news is that becomes less and less important. And the desire to live comes in. And especially for women, and I had this for quite a few years, who are semi-carers for their mothers as they're passing away and getting older and older and chronic illnesses, you suddenly realise the finiteness of life. And you think, well, if I've got 20, 30 good years ahead of me, I'm getting on with it. I'm getting on with it, because our parents have lived longer than they ever have in history. And now we think, well, if I'm going to live a long life, I don't want to spend years sitting on a sofa watching daytime TV. I'm going to get out there now and start living my life while I can, while I'm able-bodied, and I'm going to go for it. So I think it's a massive wake-up call now for people who have cared for the elderly. I want to get on with it. I really want to live my life and make the most of it while I can.
Yeah, and sadly as well, because of COVID and everything else, I think all of us have become more aware that you don't know that you're going to make it to your 80s, 90s, 100. We all assume, well, I don't know all, I just assume I'm going to make it to a decent age. But of course, that's not the case at all. Some people don't, sadly, which causes another reason to not hang around thinking about, I'll do it in the future.
Yes, you can't hang around. And I think it is that it's now or never. Now, the other thing that comes with age is a certain sense of freedom. If you've been careful with money, you may have a nice little nest egg. You might have, finally, you're not paying off mortgages, or maybe all the most of the big bills have been sorted out. Your children may have left home. And you think, well, now I've got the resources. Yeah. Now I've got the time. I haven't got dependents on me, people who need me so much. I can go off for 2 or 3 months. I can start a watercolour course. I can go and follow the things I want to do uninterrupted and without guilt or a sense of obligation to others. Now is the time that women can really thrive. And I think they can't wait to get out there. And again, don't want to disrespect men, but far more than men. I think women feel, right, I'm free now. I'm going, which maybe isn't the experience of men, like, I'm free. Maybe they always had a sense I can go to the golf course or watch West Ham on a Saturday. Women are like, no, I am free now. And I am going to go away with my friends to Barcelona for the weekend, please, when we can again. And things like that. And it's like a sense of nothing will stop me now. And that's a lovely thing to look for. And we've all seen those women on holiday enjoying their glass of Chardonnay. Absolutely. And they look so happy.
and do you have experience when we come to you for coaching that they're hitting midlife and yet children have gone to university and actually they don't know what they want to do because they put all their effort into looking after the children? Maybe, there's a lot of divorce happening in later age. Maybe that side of the relationship isn't great. And she's thinking, well, I'd really like to go off and do something that's right for me, but I've got no idea what it is because she hasn't given herself that opportunity to think about it before.
Yes, women, particularly, I guess, mums, can be quite selfless. You're at the bottom of the pecking order with everything. And then, which is, means you're a good mum and all of that. But I always do say to women, try and look after yourself too in this, that, if you're happy and contented as a mother and as a woman, you're going to be a much better mother. So don't completely negate all of your needs and all of your desires to be mum. Also remember there is you in this. So it's really helpful if some women, while they're bringing up children, have hobbies and friends and a community that they, or work that they get a lot out of. But if they haven't and they get to their 50s, it can be a terrible time of feeling an end of an era. Who am I and where am I now? Now, given that this feeling of what am I going to do with the rest of my life is quite common at almost any age. You can get to 30 and think, I don't really know where my career is going. So the two areas I specialise in is confidence and clarity, because confidence, without confidence, there's so many decisions you can't make in life, and you don't get clarity unless you're a confident person. I'm trying to keep this simple, but a lot of people say, I literally do not know what to do next. Confident people tend to know what they want. So I start from a position of, okay, what's holding you back? What are you frightened of? What really is in the way here? What is the resistance? And once you've built up someone's confidence, the clarity comes into sharp focus.
Yeah.
So clarity is, what would I love to do? What am I naturally drawn to? What are the newspapers and magazines that I like to read? What do I tune into naturally because I love it? And what values do I have in me that might be pulling me forward to say, this is something that you might want to do next? Because waiting to see what might come along and pass you by, you could wait a very long time. You've got to do a bit of deep diving within yourself to say, who am I? And what, apart from all the years where I've pushed it down because my mum and dad didn't want me to do it, my husband didn't want me to do it, my children didn't want me to do it, what is it deep down that I've always wanted to do?
Yeah.
That takes a bit of kind of gold mining. You have to go in a bit, am I allowed it? Can I give myself permission to really fly now? And once you've taken the lid off, you find that there's no stopping them.
And I'm thinking about, what about somebody listening in now, and she's, midlife, lacking in confidence, because I do know a lot of women go through menopause and struggle with their confidence, and it has a knock-on effect, and particularly, when your body starts to change. And if she's looking at you saying, well, it's okay for her to do that, look at her, she looks gorgeous, she's got a successful business, I'm not that person. I don't have confidence. What sort of pointers might you be able to give her?
I would, first of all, say you don't have confidence yet.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay, yeah. So it's not
good
final.
reframe.
Yeah. So it's not like I don't have. No, you don't have any confidence yet. Just like I didn't have a runner's pair of legs. After a bit of working out and put of effort in, I got to be able to run. And the same with confidence. The more you put in, the more you try it. And actually, confidence comes from how much you love and believe in yourself. So if I said to you, can you walk a tightrope? No, I'm very nervous about that. But can you make a really beautiful cake? Yes, you're confident of that, right? So there's something you're confident about there. And you start to think there are things in your life that you are confident of. You can write poetry, or you're very good at X, Y, Z, or you can sing well, so there are things that are naturally strengths and you concentrate more on those. These are the things I know I can do. People who have no confidence, and particularly women, do down their own achievements and their own successes anyway. They don't honour them, and they go, oh, that old thing, or oh, yeah, I just did that. I haven't really thought of it like that. They don't hold on to it and say, that was a really good thing I did there. It'll be about getting them to write down 50 to 100 amazing things about themselves that they've done in their lives. Now, most women say, I can only think of 5. And I said, no, really get in there. What do your friends say about you? What do you look good in? Do you look good in red, or do you always smell beautiful? Do you make a fantastic pasta dish? Have you been a good mum? Have you been a lovely daughter? What compliments have people said to you over the years? And when you pretty soon you start and you read it and you think, actually, I'm all right. I'm good. But it takes a while to allow women to allow in their own power and to own it and to give themselves permission, particularly if they have been in controlling relationships where a partner has done them down, has not allowed them to shine, has been controlling. So there's a bit of work to be done to bring it out. But small, I would say, get a big me up book, a small book, no bigger than this that you can keep in your handbag or your coat pocket, 50 to 100 really good things about you, and add to it each day.
See, I love that. I love that, because so many women will be fantastic at lots of things and not recognize it. Or they'll think, oh, that old thing, everybody can do that. But not everybody can do that at all. I think women so often downplay their achievements.
Well, they really do. And I think women suffer from the imposter syndrome more than men. And imposter syndrome basically means they're going to find me out soon. The talent police are going to come in and march me out of the building, because basically it's self-doubt saying I'm not good enough to be here. Now, again, not disrespecting men, but men tend to not worry too much about the imposter syndrome. And there is a reverse syndrome called the Dunning-Kruger effect, which basically means that you think you've got tons of ability and actually you haven't. So these are the people we see getting on in the office who are full of themselves, full of ego, full of the front, and yet there's almost no knowledge and wisdom and expertise to back it up. And we think, gosh, how can they get on with, they know so little. And then women who are probably brilliant but very quiet sit there thinking, wow, I'm not good enough for this. And so women need to sort of step up a bit and think, well, you know, I am, and start to own their own brilliance and the things they've done, and not minimize themselves in order to fit in, you know?
Yeah, and I don't remember the details, but I know there was some research that showed if there was a job spec with a list of, say, 10 requirements, that, and these figures aren't right, but women will look at it and say, for example, oh, I can only do 8 of them. I can't do the other 2, so I can't apply. Men will look at it and go, I can do 5. I'm applying. I'm perfect for this job. And it's that difference. Women always downplay what they can do and they concentrate on what they can't.
Absolutely. And this is why if a woman is watching this and she's thinking, like, that sounds like me, then I would say go to your female friends, and these are your tribe. These are the people who do love and believe in you, and support each other. Have a buddy coach from one of those, and that once a week you catch up with each other. And how's your week gone? What are your intentions for the week ahead? Have you done those? And get some support, because these are the people who are on side and will cheerlead you on. And women need their tribes like this. They need they're very good at having communities. Women are. We do it at the school gate. We do it at school. It's about having people around you who love and get you, and will help push you forward. And that's why I'm saying have a buddy coach with a friend. So like every Friday morning, how's your week gone? What were your wins? What were your successes? What could you do better? What you got planned for next week? That kind of support really helps women to achieve more. Well, not achieve more if they want to, but feel better and feel supported, and that they can be their full potential.
And I like that. I like that idea of ask your female friends what you're brilliant at, because they'll probably be able to tell you straight away. And it's all those things that you're probably thinking, oh, everybody can do that. But it's things that your friends are looking at you in admiration because you can do it so well.
I ask some clients who are very shy or very underconfident to ask 5 of their best friends to say, and send an email, say, I'm working with a life coach. She has asked me to ask you what 5 to 10 things you like about me, and sadly, what 5 to 10 things you think I need help with. And I said, and when you've got them all, collate them all and write them out, what the common themes are. It's usually she doesn't believe in herself enough, the friends will say, or we should come out more. We want to see more of her. She holds back. And what help does she need? Well, she needs to get out more. We want to see more of her. And this is your best friends telling you, we love you, we want more for you. Write them down and then start to think, what can I do differently? Because they're there to give you kind advice. And maybe you're not hearing it from your own head, but you might hear it from people who really get you, and you might start to make changes that way.
I love that. I love that. And I love the whole concept of women supporting one another. As well.
And I think that's what we do. And in our 50s and 60s, our female support groups and communities are the ones that are going to see us through to old age. And again, sadly, because men don't always have those gangs like that, someone you can properly talk to, they can end up being quite lonely. There's a high percentage of very lonely older men who haven't got small talk, who haven't got that kind of support group around them. So, women are good at that, and make the most of it and do things together, support each other, be your own best buddy coaches, to each other.
Oh, I love that. I really love it. And I know when we spoke earlier, you told me your 50s were your best decade so far.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more
Well, I
about
guess
why that's the case.
yeah, I suppose like many women, you spend your 20s struggling around trying to get your career on track and relationship, 30s buying a house and putting roots down, maybe having children, 40s bringing up children, little time, little oxygen for me, and yet in all of those 40, in my 40s I was thinking, what about me? Because I wanted to be somebody even though I was a mum of two. And then in my 50s it was like gets a little bit easier, not having to rush to the school to pick them up. They want to walk home on their own, they want to go out in the evening. So hold a minute, there's some gaps opening up here for me. And my business took off more then because I had more time to devote to my life coaching practice, started running. And then I started my academy, my coaching academy. I seem to feel now it was a now or never moment. If I don't do this now, it's not going to. I had a lot of help with that. It was someone else's idea for the academy, but people joined in, and I thought, well, I can't do this. But with the right support, you can. And I just thought, I have nothing to lose. I've done that, having a go and falling down things so many times in my life that the sense of embarrassment or humiliation had almost gone. It's almost like, I don't care if you point and laugh at me.
Yeah.
I'm doing it, you're not. If I fail, it's on me, not on you.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I didn't feel terribly frightened of doing a lot of things, but I did it anyway.
Yeah.
Because I thought it's my life, and I'll pick up pieces. And I think fortune favours the brave. I got offered to do things like go to Monaco, which is one of the most terrifying things I've ever done, and be on stage for 5 days and present a film awards. And I had to watch 10 films a day with this enormous international audience of film directors and actors. I had to present the films and then interview the directors and cast of each film from Russia, from China, from Hungary, from America. And I was and it was for 5 days, and there was an evening ball every night in Monaco. I was completely terrified. But when I flew over on the plane and I saw the Côte d'Azur, and I was like, oh my goodness, it suddenly hit me. What am I doing here? The imposter syndrome came in. I thought, I can't do this. And I thought, well, I've got to do it. I know nobody in Monaco, only the two organisers, which I'd only spoken to on the phone. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail miserably. But not only that, on stage in front of hundreds of people. So I thought, right, calm down. What do I need right now? And I thought, what I need is tons of compassion for me, because I've got no friends in this place. So what I had to say to myself is, I will do my very best. If I make a huge glaring error on stage, if I say the wrong thing, I'm going to give myself unconditional self-forgiveness. I'm not going to go to my hotel room and go into a ball of self-recrimination and hatred and like, oh my God, what have I done? I'm so useless. I'm going to come back to my room, have a nice bath and say I did my very best. That little pep talk on the plane got me through it. It was like a cashmere rug on me, like, I will be very kind to me because I'm on my own and I don't want to give myself a big beating up on this. I've got to just think like you would a child, be kind to that child walking forward. They're only trying to do their best. And if they fall over, you'll pick them up and you'd look after them. You wouldn't pick them up. So, and that was in my 50s. And in a million years, I didn't think, as I get older, things got more exciting.
Yeah. And what occurred to me when you were talking there as well, it doesn't sound as though you did need this, because it sounded as though you were fantastic. But had you done something wrong, you called the film director by the wrong name or something, there is also a whole level of vulnerability in just admitting, I got it wrong. And not, for all of us, not to pretend we're perfect, because we're not. We do get things wrong. We do try things. We're not as brilliant as we thought we were going to be. We make errors, but there is that whole vulnerability to be out there and say, I got it wrong, and not be carrying around or always wearing this mask of everything about my life is perfect, which sadly, social media, we can often get that impression that everybody else has got their life sorted other than us.
Yes, I think that is a sense of, well, particularly in the age of Instagram and Facebook, people post the best pictures of themselves up there.
Yeah,
And it's not always the truth. Because
exactly.
I know the stories behind some of those pictures, and I say, well, you both looked like you were having a fantastic time. No, we had a terrible row after those pictures were taken. You don't know what people are putting
Exactly.
out there. They're just showing these gorgeous pictures with palm trees and a cocktail and looking wonderful. It's not the truth. A lot of it's not the truth, and everyone thinks they've got to have the perfect life and perfect body and relationship and lovely home. It's not how it is.
Yeah.
It's not how it is. And when you get older, you start to get that it's not important. I feel sorry for the young people who think having the perfect life is everything. We didn't have
Yes.
that. But now, as you get older, just take it with a pinch of salt. People aren't, that what they put out there isn't always 100% accurate.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, it's a lot of it is deliberately staged, not as in stage, the photo stage, but, you know, you're posting just the bits that make you look really good, rather than, you know, you don't post about when something didn't go right because you don't want everyone else to know it. And I think we've got to stop doing that. We've got to admit that we're human, and, you know, I messed up and I felt awful, but it was an error. You know, I didn't do it intentionally. So that whole thing you said about self-compassion is so important, isn't it?
It really is. It's to think, well, it's my life. I'm having a go. I'm not just lying around thinking, what will people say? I daren't do anything. I'm going to have, you know, there's no, success is not guaranteed in anything in life. So you're having a go. And when I used to run a networking group, and one time I said, hands up here, it was all women. Who's had an epic failure in their business? Nearly everyone put their hand up. And I said, what happened? And one said, I had a conference where I invited loads of people and no one came. No one.
Oh my goodness.
Another one
that's
said,
sad.
I know. Another one said she spent ages researching a holiday. She was a holiday coach for a VIP client, months. And then they used another travel person. So, yeah, and so that was a waste of her time and expectation. Another lady who had a cafe said that she measured up all the windows and ordered blinds, and she'd measured them all wrong, and all of the blinds that came, none of them fitted.
Yeah.
But I went back and said, what did you learn? And the lady who had the conference said, I did all the information I was going to deliver at the conference and did it as a download, and now I make money on a passive income.
What a clever girl. What a clever girl.
The travel lady said, now I ring fence how much research I do on a client, and if they want more, they have to pay. Brilliant bit of learning.
Yeah.
And the other lady with the blinds put them on eBay and sold them all.
Yeah.
And never ever measures her own windows again for blinds.
I mean, that's the point, isn't it? Learn, acknowledge that you weren't brilliant. We're not all going to be brilliant at everything, but learn. What would you, with that knowledge, what would you do different next time round or in a similar situation?
And also kind of giving yourself a slap in the back for doing it anyway and saying, well done, at least you had to go. And you do learn. It's not, nothing is 100. Even if you meet someone new, it's not a guaranteed successful relationship. Everything's an investment. Everything's a risk.
Yeah.
The main thing is, that's what life is about. And it's always worth taking a risk.
Absolutely. And there's a wonderful saying by Brené Brown, which I can't remember it properly, but paraphrased is, if you're not down here trying these things yourself, I'm not going to pay any attention to your comments. And that's what it is. Only listen to people who are in there trying things themselves and maybe failing. Do not listen to people who are sitting there in the safe seats, not trying anything out, but very keen to point and laugh if you get something wrong.
But I agree. But having said that, when you think about it, who is pointing and laughing? Who are these people?
Actually, good point. It's in our head, isn't it?
Yes, it is, because it might be a relative, like a really close, who's a little bit envious and competitive with you. It might be a sister or a brother or a cautious parent. So it's someone who's sort of either like oh, don't do that because I wish I could do it, or someone who's actually a bit worried about you, don't invest. But there isn't a kind of a jury of people about to judge you and condemn you and execute you and point at you and say, ha ha. It's all in our heads.
It is. We're our own worst enemies sometimes, aren't we? About telling ourselves we haven't done it very well. Probably before we've even gone to try it, we've told ourselves we're not going to be good at it.
I've had some epic fails in my business, the technology that doesn't work on the day and the wrong PowerPoint came up and I still carried on and tried to do my talk with the PowerPoint that was there, and then said to the organisers after, oh my God, that was the wrong PowerPoint that you used. And but you do it and you laugh and you just double check next time that that's not going to happen.
Exactly.
And no one noticed, no one died.
Yeah.
You have to kind of go home and have a nice hug of yourself and a glass of wine or something.
Yeah, and learn. Learn what you're going to do different.
Yes,
next time.
But I think as far as how women look go, there's nothing wrong in hiring a personal dresser, and a lot of. And I'm really passionate about this. I've never used one, but I did a while ago because I needed some new photos for my website. And someone else can give you some great tips that you didn't know. You're stuck in a rut with the same things you always wear. And she updated my look with accessories and things like that. And many stores like John Lewis, I think M&S at the big stores like Westfield, offer free personal dressers. It's worth it. If you're feeling, I feel a bit invisible, set your budget, £150 for your winter wardrobe. They'll go and get you things, and you'll come out feeling fantastic. And that's the thing. If you feel you look good, give yourself that investment. There's no reason to walk around feeling I've become grey and I'm invisible and I'm in a beige clothes to hide. No, go out there and find someone to help you, and you'll feel liberated as you not you don't have to look young, but you can look amazing. You can look fabulous at any age, So that's one tip I share a lot with my my clients, and a good hairdresser too. Get someone to sort of give you a little bit of a mini makeover, and it boosts your confidence enormously.
Carole Ann, it's been marvellous talking to you. Thank you so much for loads and loads of tips there as to how to be fabulous at 50 and beyond. So for anyone listening in who'd like to contact you, what's the best way for them to get hold of you?
You can Google me, Carole Ann Rice, and I'm called The Real Coach, and my company's called Real Coaching Company. So you can most people Google me. I'm on Instagram as Carole Ann Rice, LinkedIn. So find me, just Google me. That's the easiest way, and I'm happy to offer people a half-hour chat on the phone if people want to think about using me as their coach. It's an investment in yourself. It's not like a full-time. You have a coach forever. You have a coach for a very small period, like helping you set the firework display off. That's what I do.
Oh, I like that. And of course, nice timing. Fireworks night coming up very soon. Oh, I think that's very good for all of us to take on board, isn't it? Time to set the fireworks off.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put all the details in the comment section below the video.
It's an absolute joy, Mary, and well done for leading this crusade to help women feel fabulous.
Thank you. Yes, and for anyone listening in, spread the word that it's not downhill after 50. Far from it. Fireworks. Fireworks are coming.
Display. Come on.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Carole Ann.
Thanks so much.